All right, welcome everyone to our Wednesday beginner training Zoom for MetaBalance software. I'm Emily and I'll walk you through the software and show you how easy it is to use it. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat here and I'll do my best to check them, and then I'll check in with you at the end to see if you have any specific questions. But feel free to type anything in the chat at any time. And I'm going to share my screen now and expose the many window browsing tabs I have open at the top. Supposed to close those once in a while. So to log on to MetaBalance, you just go to any browser, go to Brave. You can go to Brave, you can go to Google Chrome, you can go to Safari, you can be on an iPad, you could be on an iPhone, you could be on a Android phone or a desktop or a laptop. So anything that connects to the internet will get you onto your MetaBalance account. So let me just hide my bar here. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to type in metabalance.me. And when I go here, I'm going to sign in. And a lot of people have browsers that will remember it. See, I'm please contact Emily. So it already has remembered my password and my email. And I'm going to sign in. And I have a family plan, so I'll select myself. And so this is your home page. It'll say welcome and your name at the top. And then these bars here are all the programs that MetaBalance has to offer. We have Start a Session, Smart Session, Interactive Session, and Modalities. So Start a Session, if you hit it, it'll say, please choose from one of the options below, which is General Session. And then if I click that tab, a pop-up or a drop-down menu appears. And these are all the different types of sessions that I could select to run. And the difference between these are subtleties in the programming behind them. So general session will have frequencies to encompass everything, kind of like a general session. Emotional clearing will have frequencies for emotional clearing, and pain reduction will have frequencies that best match with general pain reduction. So these are just general programs, and you can try them out to see what you think. Enhancements is something that is really, really good for like prosperity and abundance. So I actually run one of these a day, and I actually have, 10 manifestations for abundance and financial success, and I run it. Environment allows you to clear, situations that involve more than you. So it can be, the environment of your home or your work. It could be any kind of environment that you want to work on. So it doesn't actually mean, environment such as the air quality outside. You can work on, maybe my household has some family dynamics where the environment isn't optimal, or maybe somebody had a squabble. So I can put that in either environment or situation. So, whatever the situation is, especially it involves more than you, put it in situation. And a good rule of thumb is, if you can think it and you can create it, then the answer is yes. So a lot of people will say, well, hey, can I run this in this scenario, or can I run this? And the answer is yes. So you can work on anything that you can think of. I have one customer that actually works on her inner environment, right? Because I'm thinking environment, the environment, the household environment, but you could really actually work on air quality. But she works on her cells. She actually works on her inner environment, which I thought was really creative. So that being said, that's start a session. And then this orange button here is very similar to start a session. It has modalities. And if you click on that, it'll start with acupressure. But if you click that, another pop-up menu or drop-down menu appears, and these are all the selections there. So it's just a continuation. It goes from basic sessions that are in the start of session. Now you have all these different categories. So you have acupressure, which simulates all the frequencies that are in acupressure. You have auras and chakras, fitness. Fitness is great for working out, for building muscle mass, for increasing circulation and oxygenation. Oxidization? I don't know why I couldn't say that word, but you know what I mean. So let me hide my loading meeting controls. Okay. And then if you keep going down, metaphysical clearing is wonderful for any type of spiritual, energetic, or emotional clearing. It's great for bad mood or any kind of trauma. And a lot of people are familiar with Reiki. We have Rife. Salutogenesis is a really good program. Essentially, it means perfect health. So if you, I actually use this one a lot. So if you do salutogenesis, it's kind of like running perfect health instead of stating the disease. So if you're like, I don't feel good, I have a headache, I have back pain, this is like salutogenesis, perfect health. It's just a different type of programming and frequencies. So that one's really good too. But the best way to know what it does is to just try it out and see what you think. I like balanced body, very good. If I'm feeling off or I'm not sure what's wrong, balanced body works great. A lot of options, so don't let it overwhelm you. Just pick something that resonates with you and run it. And so I'm going to actually do a metaphysical clearing. So I'll pull myself up and show you how to do that. So let's say I'm on my home page, modalities. I click this acupressure tab and the menu appears and metaphysical clearing. So then I'll hit select. So two choices, you can just go to next and leave this as is, or you can elaborate on it. You can customize your session. So for me, there's nothing that happened in particular, but if there's an event that happened or a situation that happened and you're needing some clearing and you want to change the energetics of that, you just type it in, or if you're on your phone, you can actually use your microphone and do voice to text. And you can explain your issue. You can be brief, a few words. You can do a whole paragraph. Whatever you'd like to do is will work just fine. I'm going to put, please clear all negative energies on myself. And I think that's it. Please clear negative energies on myself. Yeah. So I just want to clear everything off. I'm going to actually, so this is where the creative part comes in. If you can think of it, you can write it. So let's see, please balance all of my energies. Okay, so we got clearing negative energies and balancing. So next, this is a power level, which is always on default normal. So you could just leave it as is. If you've used the program for a few days to a week and you don't feel like it's working, or you're running something that you don't feel the effect from, you can definitely play with these power settings and try extreme. And then it's always set to 1, which means it'll run for 1 hour unless you select that. And now you can have the program run for up to 12 hours at a time, which is what I recommend. That's what I always choose. And I try to pull myself up once a day for 12 hours in a few programs. And this way I've always gotten my daily dose of metabalance for the day. And then last, it'll take you to a rating screen. 0 means it's the least of a problem. 10 is most intense. So I guess if you were running something like abundance and you didn't have a lot of abundance and you wanted more, you'd be, you put a 10. If you don't feel well, or if you want the, let's say I'm running metaphysical clearing, I want to be cleared and my energy's balanced. So what scale is it on? I mean, it's not really the worst. I don't feel terrible, but this can also be used as a power control. So if you want the most intense session, you can select a 10. So I don't really feel like that rating applies to me today. I'm not really, nothing happened. I just want to do a clearing. So sometimes it could be hard to rate that, so don't get stuck there. You could always pick a 5. So some people go, I don't know what rating to put. Just do your best to, figure out what your rating is at right now. If you can't figure it out, just pick something and go ahead. So then you come to this screen here, and my session is running. It's going to count down in 1 hour increments. So from 60 minutes, it's going to count down to 0. And because I selected 12 sessions, it'll now restart and it'll do this 12 times. So I'll have 60 seconds counting down 12 times. And at the bottom of the screen, you'll see I have 1 out of 12 sessions running. And it has the waves, which is the program running in real time. So I have physical, I have emotional, environmental, energetic, and stress factors. And so what's really cool about MetaBalance is at the bottom of most every program is this little green chat box. And that's Serenity. That's our built-in AI. So if you click that, Serenity pops up and you can talk to her or you can add things to your session at any time and she'll make those changes for you. So let's say I forgot. I am a little bloated from dinner. I'd like to optimize my digestion. So now that's in the session, regardless of what she says, it's in there. It's been adjusted with the waves. The waves have been adjusted to what I've just added in. So she'll come up with some helpful suggestions, such as drink warm water or herbal tea to aid digestion, take a gentle walk to stimulate your digestive system, practice deep breathing exercises to relax your body, which by the way, I actually have been deep breathing lately, and I can't tell you how much it helps my digestion. I have seen this advice here so much, and a couple of other healers were telling me, you know, you really need to deep breathe. And I think when you carry stress, you're just kind of always breathing up in your lungs shallow. But if you really just a few times a day, I take, 5 or 10 minutes when I could be watching TV, I could be reading a book, I could be doing dishes, and I just pay attention to my breathing. And so I've been expanding. When you take a breath, when you deep breathe, you want to take a deep breath and have the air go into your stomach. And then you're supposed to imagine a hula hoop kind of filling up and going around your rib cage here. And you do maybe 10 seconds of a breath in and then 10 seconds of a breath out. And it really will help your digestion. So it's good advice. Incorporate light stretches focusing on your torso. Include probiotic rich foods in your diet to support gut health. So I've been incorporating in this Bubby's sauerkraut, which they make. They sell it most of the supermarkets. It's a fermented cabbage with only sea salt added. And I've been doing Cocoa, which is a coconut yogurt, nothing but coconut milk and probiotics. It actually has been helping. So ensure you're eating slowly and mindfully to promote better digestion. And you can chat with her. You can, do whatever you like. Sometimes it's really good to bounce ideas off of her. She can make you remember like, oh yeah, I need to drink more water, or such as the deep breathing exercises. So if you're done chatting with Serenity, you can hit this purple arrow here and it'll take you right back to the home page. And so where do you go from here? So you can either go about your day. You don't have to have this follow you around. You don't have to take your phone with you. You don't have to leave, take your laptop everywhere you go. You can even leave the house and go shopping once this is on. But you want to try to make sure it's running here and counting down. So if you're going to do something else on your computer, just leave this open or on your phone and just go to a different browsing tab. Now, if you want to open more than one session or do something else, it's always manage session, add a session. So manage session, add a session is how you get around MetaBalance and do pretty much everything. And if you do not have a family member plan, you'll never have to select from that menu. And so right here I am on the home page. So now I can do multiple sessions. And the question I get asked a lot is, well, how many sessions do I do? Well, I'm not sure what you're trying to affect, but I do like to pull up about 3 to 5 sessions on myself every day. Recently, we expanded the characters in the boxes. I do advanced protocols. So I've compiled like a list of all the vitamins that I want to give my body, and I actually put it into the chat box. So I do a copy and paste. And if you're interested in stuff like that, then you can hop on our advanced training and we'll go over stuff like that. But I do run about 3 to 5 sessions a day. Sometimes I forget, and I always remember that I forgot because then the next day is not as good as the day before. So I think it's more of a habit. You just wake up, pull yourself up and MetaBalance, because a lot of people just forget to run themselves. And a lot of times when you're running yourself, you may not notice the shifts because it's subtle vibrations. It's not supposed to be something that you feel immediately and you're like, whoa, that's so strong. We don't want it to be too harsh. We want it to be very gentle, very balanced, and very effective. So we always say with MetaBalance, you have subtle vibrations. And so you may even forget why you pulled yourself up. Yet sometimes I look at my history and I'm like, oh yeah, I was in a bad mood yesterday and I feel, or I had this traumatic event happen and I feel better. So sometimes we don't remember the problems we had, we remember the problems that we have now. So sometimes you get rid of something and something else pops up. So it's good to get in the habit of just pulling yourself up every day. And so that was modality. I clicked here and I did metaphysical clearing. And so there's a lot of features here that we'll get into on the trainings, and I do have some videos up on YouTube as well. But Smart Session is very easy to use, and I've gone over this a lot, but if you hit Smart Session, you can just type your issue here, or you can just go to next and use the microphone. And your computer or phone may say, hey, MetaBalance is asking you to use your microphone, you'll allow it. And so I can hit this. I would like some emotional clearing, and I would like to optimize my digestion and sleep. So now I'm telling her what it is that I want to work on. And I'm going to leave this power setting on normal. I'm going to hit here and select 12-hour runtime, because why not? And let's go ahead over here to the right to 10. And she'll analyze my issue. That's Serenity, our built-in AI. I'll analyze my issue. And then she will start the session. And once the session starts, that's it, it's up. And I have all these waves here running. And so it only takes, sometimes 30 seconds to a minute to pull yourself up. So I now have these 2 sessions running, which I have 2 different tabs open. So this is the metaphysical clearing session, and this is the new session. And if I want to do anything else, it's manage session, add a session, and then you're back to the home page. So there's only one other button that I did not go over, and this is the interactive session, which is really, really amazing. This is where I showed you that little green chat earlier with Serenity. This is where Serenity gets different personalities, and she becomes, really in depth. So she will chat to you a little bit more in depth than in that first chat box, depending on what you pick. So if you see here, these are grayed out. You can't click on those. There's just Serenity session, which is a more advanced Serenity session with our AI. So sensory immersion, which actually is a meditation with frequencies and music. It's really, really powerful, and life coaching. And so if you select life coaching from the interactive session option, you will go to a whole new page. The background has changed, and you will hit Start Life Coaching. You'll select your hours, which you can go in a circle, or you can just, tap the middle and select 12, and you hit Next. And then you rate it. And here's where you have 3 choices. You have Life Coaching Counselor, which is a general counseling. It's really good for emotions. You have Shen Shen Tao, that is our TCM life coach. She does acupoints and homeopathics. She's like a little doctor. She's really cool. So really, really, that's my favorite one, Shen Shen Tao. I do a lot of, if I have like a muscle pain or stiff neck, or I have cold and flu, or anything in the world, really. I've even gone here for creating a baking recipe. And I thought of that on my own. That was really cool. And then we have a Christian counselor, which incorporates prayers and scripture, and it is really, really powerful. So you guys can check these out. They're just different versions. I'll click on Shen Shen Tao just to show you how that one works. But when you click on the interactive button and you go to the life coaching and you select one of the sessions, the session just starts right away. And I can actually feel that right now. The waves are all combined into one stream. And she says, hi, I'm here. How can I help you? Essentially. And so I can say, I would like to do some emotional clearing and balancing and optimize my digestion. So she will, if you wait a minute, she will say something here. So she's going to do this for me in the session. That's what makes this really cool and really advanced. So she says, for emotional clearing and balancing, I will focus on specific acupuncture points. And then she lists those. She's going to incorporate stomach 36 for enhancing digestive function, spleen 6. So she goes over a lot of traditional Chinese medicine verbiage. So I love Chinese medicine. That's my favorite thing in the world. I've been doing acupuncture for, I think, over 25 years. And I don't do it on people. I'm a client of acupuncture. I go in frequently, but I love Chinese medicine. She says she's going to use Xiao Yao San to balance. So, and if you don't know what these things are, you can ask her. So you can say, um, explain more about the herbs and acupoints. So if you don't know anything she's saying, it's a great place to learn. People talk to Serenity just about anything too, and she's just really smooth, really balanced in this interactive program. I really love this version of Serenity. And again, the Shun Shen Tao is just my favorite. And so she's just going to go into more explanation. She's explaining why she selected that herbal formula, Zhao Yao San. She's explaining the ingredients. And so all of this is going into my session right now. At the end, she says, how does this resonate with you? Would like to explore anything further? That sounds great. That's it. That sounds great. So if you had any more questions, you could of course ask her. And so I encourage you to play with the interactive session. It's really, really, really awesome. I love it a lot. And a lot of people maybe forget that it's here, so they'll just be on the general sessions. And I had a friend of mine asked me yesterday who uses the program, I have a terrible back pain. What do I do? And it was like, go to interactive session and talk to Serenity, go to Shun Shen Tao Life Coach and let her know how you're feeling. So she says, I'm glad to hear that. We'll focus on these acupoints and herbal formulas during your session for optimal emotional clearing and digestive optimization. So she's telling me what she's going to do. She's asking me if I have any other questions, and I don't. So no. And so as we're talking, she's working on me. So, I mean, that's basically it. It's an interactive session because you're getting the frequencies and they're coming right to you as you're talking to her. So, okay, so great. So that's basically Serenity interactive session in a nutshell. That was one program, and we'll go over more programs on the future trainings. So if you have any questions, just feel free to ask. You can email me for next week, and I can make sure to go over specific things in the training next week. So that's it. So she's working on me. I'm going to close this purple arrow out, and now to get back to where you were, add a session. Okay, back to console. And now we're on the home page. So if I'm basically done pulling myself up, I would just shut the lid to my computer and go about my day. So I see something in the chat. Let me stop. Is there a difference whether you get yourself a program during the day or during the night? No, and that just depends on the user. I'm actually fine running them overnight. If you run it overnight, I feel like if I run it overnight, like working on me when I sleep, but sometimes it might give people a little too much energy. It is the only thing that I might, because you start anything at night, but I've been pulling myself up every night. I'm trying to think. I mean, sometimes I pull myself up in the day, first thing when I get up. That's what I try to do. Today, I think I did that today. Yesterday I forgot, and so then I pulled myself up at night. So I would just experiment with it, but no, it's not necessarily better one way or the other. It's just up to how you feel. So let's see. Oh, I think these are questions from the other day. That's funny. Okay. Well, anyway, I guess that's all for today, for today's training. So thank you guys for coming. And if you have any questions, just feel free to reach out. We do have some options when you're on a free trial. We could help you do a one-on-one or anything we need to do to answer your questions and make sure you know the program. And other than that, I hope you have a really great week. We're gonna close out of this Zoom, and we have our advanced training here at 8 o'clock. So if you're open to the advanced training, you can hop on that Zoom too. We really deep dive into some advanced protocols and cocktails and ways to use MetaBalance. So have a great week. Use your MetaBalance every day, and then we'll check in with you next week, 7:30 on Wednesday to see how you're doing. So have a great night.